Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. Okay, so I'm going to have some fun with some metallic colours, but this time I'm going to have a black base. You've probably seen a couple that I've done previously. I did a buff titanium base and a Prussian blue base. But I'm going to go with the black base and just have a little bit of fun. So I'm going to layer the black on my base. I'm just going to use my palette knife just to kind of spread all the paint out. And then I'm going to use a cookie cutter. You can probably see it there on the right hand side, a purple star. And I'm going to fill that cookie cutter, a bit like an open cup, with some of the metallic paints. There are some air bubbles, so I'm just using my torch to pop them so it's a clean surface. Okay, so I've got my star. I think I'm going to put it just in the corner there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each colour in turn. I'm just going to add a little bit more black just around the star. So when I add my colours, it will help the star flow and move across the canvas. So I'm going to take each colour in turn. I've got a dark gold, I've got a copper, I've got a bronze, and I've got a light gold. I'm just piling the colours on top of each other, and there we go, you can see the star is starting to move. But sometimes these things need a little help. So I think I'm just going to get the star and lift it slightly so the paint escapes from the bottom and empties the star, which means as it moves across the canvas with a little bit of help, I can then add some more paint again on top of each other. Again, what I'll do is I'll just take one colour each in turn and add it on top of each other in the star, and then I will drag the star across the canvas. Here I've decided to add a little bit of silver, just so I can get some lighter colour dispersed across the full design. So I'm going to drag it with my hand, lift it up slightly so all the paint doesn't just disperse all at once, and I'll drag the star across the canvas slowly. I'm really liking that silver, so I'm also going to add a little bit of white as well, just so I can have a contrast between all those metallic colours. And because I'm using metallics, and now I'm using a titanium white, I'm expecting some cells to appear, because that kind of combination helps create cells within this formula. So again, I'm just layering the paints on top of each other in the star and dragging the star across. So I really do like the colour combination. Who doesn't with metallics? They're such a fun kind of palette to work with. But I think I'm going to get my blow dryer and I'm going to blow out a design now on the canvas. Now remember, this is a smaller canvas I'm not normally working with. This is only a 10-inch squared canvas. But I think blowing out some of the paint to really expose those colours is going to be a really good idea. And I do love how when I added the silver and the white, that really helps with contrasting all those other metallic colours that are layered within that star. Once I've blown it out, it's then that I kind of step back and really look at the composition. I really want some negative space to remain, so some of that black on the base of the canvas. So once I've blown out as much paint as I want to blow out, because I don't want puddles of paint on my canvas, I want it to dry consistently. I will then use my mouth to blow out some more of the negative space. And in a minute, I'm going to show you how I just add a little bit of a touch, a personal touch, by just using my finger to enhance some of those areas. Now, this is okay, but I really do want to add some more of the white into this creation. I really would like some more cells, and I want to kind of illustrate the contrast between those metallic colours. So never be scared to add a little bit more paint and blow out or alter your design that you've previously done. I'm adding a little bit of white, a little bit of copper, and a little bit of the dark gold. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to then use my blow dryer to go over the paint that I've already blown out, just to add a little bit of a lighter definition. And yes, that's the kind of look that I'm looking for. And remember, it's only paint, so if you go wrong, it can be amended, it can be changed. And if you put too much paint on there, don't worry, blow it off and kind of just tweak it how you'd like to tweak it. It's really fun just taking a creation sometimes and seeing where you go with it. I had no preconception about what I wanted to really design, but what I did want to do was play with metallics on a black base. And that really was my only kind of task today, was to use the black base, the negative space, and the metallic colours on top. And that's really all about mindfulness. And I don't know whether you're aware that I've done my own course on mindfulness and using art and creativity for mental well-being. But if that's something that you'd like to check out a bit more and get a bit more information on, then I've dropped all the comments and all the details in the description below. But remember, this is meant to be fun, and it's really important that you don't forget to have fun when you're creating. Of course, we really want the best creation we can make because we're learning all the time. We evolve as artists and we evolve in the way that we create. So when you're having a hard day, don't forget to rebalance yourself and just say to yourself, I'm here painting because I want to have a bit of fun and create. And I'm just going to use my finger in some of the areas just to kind of define some of those lines even further. And I'll take you in for a close-up to show you exactly how I do that. And by adding some of those lines, I'm just defining some of the colours. Look at the concentration on my face. I'm really in the moment of just trying to get that really good balance within the piece itself. So let's now go in for a closer look of the wet version so you can see some of those details and so you can see how all those colours have infused and how that white has really helped create some cells. And also you'll see where I've used my finger just to create some of those lines. I've taken some of the negative space colour, so some of the black, and really brought those lines into the piece. And that's given it's basically given it definition across all those different colours. And up here you can see there's a block of colour just here, and it's a bit on its own, so I'm just going to take my finger and I'm just going to stretch it out just so it's not so obvious, and just so it kind of flows with the other lines that's been created within the piece. So that's the wet version. Let me now show you the dried version, and guys, it's dried really well and I'm really happy with it. I've put it in some light just so you can see the shimmer of those metallics. This isn't yet varnished. What I do is I seal and varnish all of my creations with a spray gloss varnish. So once this has been varnished, then those colours are going to pop even more and you'll see those metallics really shimmer. And it's great to do it on the black base. It really does make those colours shine and pop. But you know, I'm also a fan of that buff titanium and the Prussian blue bases I've also used for the metallic colours. Thanks so much for being here. Have a wonderful week and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.